the end of the story, and not even really the end, but Sunday, when we celebrate Easter, what do we say to each other? Does anybody know what we say? He is risen. What do we say in response to that?
Risen indeed.
He's risen indeed. Because we serve a living God. There's so many religions in this world, and people always ask, why Christianity? What's the difference? Well, who really cares? It's all one God. As long as you believe in something, as long as you're okay. But it's not. It's not the same. Christianity is the only religion, which I prefer to call it a relationship because I'm not religious. It's a relationship with a living God that rose from the dead, not only died for us, but then also rose from the dead so that we could continue to have him be a part of our everyday life. He keeps on giving. He gave the greatest sacrifice, and every single day he keeps on giving. And you know what? He knew we were going to screw up. He knew that we weren't going to pray this magical prayer and then we were going to be fixed and we weren't going to screw up anymore. Have you ever had anybody that wronged you? Kind of just ripped you off? And then you forgive them and then they do it over again? And then you forgive them, they do it over again? How often do we really just forget about them? We just say, enough, I'm not forgiving them anymore because all they're going to do is just do it to me again. Anybody ever done that? I know I probably have. Jesus doesn't do that. He keeps going, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I'll go back to the rings. Everybody's got a ring. Kind of sucks, to be frank. All of us struggle with something that hangs on to us even though we don't want it to hang on to us. Maybe if you're a Christian, you have this part of your life that you wish you could give up, you could give it to God. And maybe if you're not a Christian, your whole life is something you wish you could believe in this guy that lives up in the clouds and has angels with wings. You just wish you could grasp that and understand that. Frankly, I wish that for you as well. But as we think about rings and as we think about these things that hold on to us, I want you to think about, are you willing to let it go? When you think about the movie with Frodo standing there out on the end, in the movie, you're with Sam, you're throw it in, just let it go. You've seen the damage it's done. You've seen the terrible things it's done. You see the evil behind it. Let it go. He doesn't want to do it. If you have friends in your life where you see them making choices and you go, let it go, stop. Stop doing it. It's not good for you. Or maybe the decisions that your friends are making are affecting you. In that clip, Sam, who was doing the right thing, was saying, Frodo, throw it in. Let it go. Schmeagol comes up and beats him over the head with a rock.
Damn. That guy's crazy.
He doesn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. He was just there. He was just the friend. We can debate the name later. He was just the friend that happened to be there. So I want you to think about the ring that's in your life, whatever that is, and how does it affect your life, but also how does it affect the people around you? Who's being affected by the decisions you're making? If you're a Christian and you're sitting in this room and you're making poor decisions and you're taking people, whether they're Christians or non-Christians, with you, that's sad. That's really, really sad. So I want you to think about that. Have any of you ever in this room heard somebody or said yourself, I want to get my life right before I get religion. I want to get things worked out. I just got a few things in my life I just need to get through, and then I'll take that God, then I'll probably start going to church and getting God in my life.
Sorry, question?
Sure. You can raise your hand. Good. Thank you for that hand. No problem. Sorry, man. I think a lot of people have. But what's interesting to me is, this is an illustration I used in middle school, but if you had a car and you're driving down the road in your car and all of a sudden it starts banging and clanking and it sounds like, the oil draining out of the bottom of it or something, and the engine's just banging around and clanking around and whatever, and you just keep driving it, and then somebody's like, something's wrong with your car, you should get fixed. You're like, nah, man, I'm just going to keep driving it until the sound goes away, and then I'll take it to the mechanic. Like, that doesn't make any sense. We laugh at that, we mock that, and yet we constantly live in this stage of like, well, I'm not ready to give that section of my life to God, or maybe I'm not ready to give my life at all to God. He's not going to understand me. Well, the good news is that the Bible also says in Romans chapter 10, verse 9, because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. That's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to confess with your mouth. It's a little bit harder to keep going that way, but